Welcome to our podcast, When Life Gives You Lemons. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Palmy. We consider ourselves disability advocates and intend to spotlight some disability issues and things we find interesting that we frequently encounter when we're out and about. Also, some history on disability that we find interesting.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our podcast. Palmy and I are going to be talking today about some Neuralink updates. In season 1, we had done Neuralink, but this is 2025, a couple years later, and we thought we'd update some of the stuff since it has changed. Palmy, do you remember that episode?
I do, yep.
Do you remember how many patients they had?
3, right? Yep.
Yeah, you have to remember that the patient numbers begin with 0. So
Really, it was 4?
Yeah.
They don't know how to count?
It was really 3. Patient 0, patient 1, and patient 2.
No, they don't know how to count then.
Actually, you do. The numbers start with 0.
Okay. So you wanted to check on...
They don't teach in math class. I don't know why, but...
I think it's funny. Very highly intelligent people don't know that you start with 1. But apparently we don't know that you start with 0.
Well, I think it's probably during some advanced mathematics, they don't teach in high school. Thus, I've never had the class.
You start in 0?
Yeah, start with 0.
Okay. So the projects presently are in human trials. We just discussed that there are three patients. Yeah. The first patient was...
no, it's 12 now.
Oh, but...
It was 3 then. It's 12 now.
First patient was... who?
The first patient was Nolan. He was formerly patient.
I thought it was Elon Musk was the first patient.
That was patient 0.
Well, okay. But
that was just the proof of concept, gave him the brain computer interface.
They didn't do anything.
Operation. He got the brain computer interface,
but it doesn't
implanted,
do anything.
But he didn't have to do anything with it. But that way he had it, and the engineers could work on what they needed, work out what they needed to work on.
Okay. And then the patient number 1 is Nolan, right?
Yes.
And so the big advance is that in September of 2025, he expressed his true name and his true goals, what his true goals were via this interlink.
There's kind of a story behind that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Nolan being the first actual patient, not Elon Musk, proof of concept patient. He actually had some of the fibers they planted in his brain retract, and so he didn't have full contact with everything he should have had. But they're using new hardware that supposedly fixes the problem.
Elon?
But Nolan, yeah.
Okay,
but Nolan is way better off than he was before. He can do things he couldn't do before.
And am I correct that
he's making a living as a motivational speaker, which is probably why he's not known as patient 1 anymore.
That he's become a patient, or the
he
name.
He still do the things he needs to do thoroughly. They're just not sure that, since some have already retracted, whether or not others will in the future. So it's not like he's not one of their long-term prospects.
Okay. And am I correct that there is a YouTube documentary on him?
Yes.
And that's what you watched.
Yes.
As far as understanding where he's at on progress and that.
Yeah, let me explain this to everybody, Pommy and our audience. I watched 2 YouTube videos updating Neuralink's progress from Neuralink's perspective. Now, to be fair, I did not use any, when it came time to search for things, I used Microsoft Bing, which is a chat GPT AI. It's not one that was made by Elon Musk.
Correct.
So, in other words, if there's anything contrary, it was shown up, which it did not. It did tell me the reason why I'm speculating that Nolan was known as page 1, and now he's come out and said, "Oh, I'm Nolan," because that's what he does for a living. He's a motivational speaker now.
Right. And the Neuralink has studies active in Canada, the United Kingdom, the United States, and the United Arab Emirates, right?
Yes, they're international now.
Okay.
Whereas before, they were only working with domestic patients.
And one of these patients, and we're not sure from where, is a woman. It's the first woman that was implanted.
She's from Louisiana.
Oh, she is. You knew that. Okay. Her name, Andrea Cruz, and she was implanted, and she broke her neck in a car accident in 2005. Nolan has his implant in longer than hers and has adapted to his chip, but Andrea seems nothing but hopeful for a future and the future of Neuralink ability to impact future patients.
Yeah, I wanted to throw that in because Nolan was also speaking nothing but good about Neuralink as well. And it did impact his life. You know, before he had problems speaking, he also had a high upper spinal cord injury. He couldn't move his arms. Everything was like he had to master the computer brain interface to learn how to use the computer and so on.
But with the interface, he can use his arms?
No, but I noticed he was in a wheelchair. Some wheelchairs, like the one I have, do connect to Bluetooth, but this particular model only, it has no functional connection for me. It is only for the people that work on it.
So you noticed his chair. What did you notice about his chair?
Well, it's not the same brand, but
you noticed that he was using a chair that had an interface with him?
Oh, he had a
joystick,
but it was folded up. I don't use this thing.
Okay.
So I'm assuming he's using a Bluetooth connection to maneuver.
Okay. So what advances did he receive from the internet, the Neuralink?
Well, if he is indeed maneuvering his wheelchair via Bluetooth, that's one. He does, I notice he plays chess now. He accesses the internet. He's about, as I said, he's a motivational speaker. He was housebound before, whereas now he's self-sufficient. And, I don't know, perhaps. I think he said in that somewhere he bought a Tesla, which would be defeated because with their GPS, all you'd have to do is plug in the address, which he could do because it has Bluetooth as well, and use self-driving features to say, go here. Yeah. But again, I'm speculating. I think he said that, but I'm not sure. I didn't write it down.
Okay. So Neuralink says that Elon Musk's brain interface company is entering a phase in 2025, while the vision remains bold, restoring mobility, enabling digital control, and eventually emerging human cognitive with AI. The reality is a mixture of cautionary progress and high ambitions. And here's what the future may look like. So what their milestones are human trials. So as early as 2025, 3 individuals have received Neuralink N1 brain implants. These trials are experimental, focused on safety, functionality, and refinement. Digital freedom. One patient, the Nolan that we talked about, demonstrated the ability to control a computer mouse and play games using only his thoughts, a major leap towards restoring autoimmunity with people with paralysis. So that's how he is controlling things now. And then what's next? Neuralink aims to implant 20 to 30 new patients this year, while Musk envisions millions of users within a decade. The rollout is slow and deliberately due to medical safety procedures. Their advanced tech, the company is working on enhancing electrode stabilities and signal clarifications. Early issues like electrode retractions, like you said, are being addressed to improve long-term reliability. Future goals include mind-controlling games, speech restoring via AI, and even memory enhancements. Their challenges ahead are regulation hurdles. Despite FDA approvals for trials, and full commercial deployment will require extensive validations. Technical complexity. Brain-machine interfaces are notoriously difficult to scale, especially with biological varieties and long-term safety concerns. So Neuralink is no longer just a sci-fi dream. It's real, and it's an evolving technology. While the hype is high, the path to widespread use is steep and slow. But there are other companies. You looked into that, and there are several other companies that are also going down this avenue, correct?
Correct.
And this avenue is called Brain Controlled Interface, and it's called BCI Research.
Yeah, the other companies are Synchron, BlackRock Neurotech,
BrainGate Consortium. I think that's the last one. And so each of these companies, their advantages, and they have different approaches and different features based on what they think is important. So not everybody is going down the same avenue. So what was that first one? Synchron?
Synchron, yes.
Their approach is minimally invasive stentrode devices inserted into the blood vessels. So that means they don't open up the brains. Is that correct?
That's correct. They don't open up your head via brain surgery, but the actual surgery inserts it through the veins to the brain.
And their progress currently is approved for human trials earlier than Neurotech. Several patients have used it to send texts and emails. So since it's not an invasive surgery, their companies are more willing to do this, approve this, and allow this because it's not so invasive, I imagine.
Well, I don't know about that, dear, because right now they're all in human trials. So
right, but it seems like if I had a choice between having my brain opened up or a chance to just go through my blood vessels, that would be the way I would want to go.
I don't know.
And it seems more scalable on a
Neuralink is the only one that uses robotic surgery. So
yeah,
I would
you'd be more
consider that more than the others that don't use robotic surgery, because I just think about like that.
You have more trust in robots
thing. No. I don't want people involved. So,
well, see, I'm the other way around. The next company is called BlackRock Neurotech, and their focus is on restoring mobility and communications for people with paralysis. So, and their progress currently is over 30 patients have been implanted with Utah array devices, proven long-term stability. And their strength is the decades of research and clinical data, strong academic partnerships.
I think I recall reading something about the company. Their success that I'm aware of to date is they have like an exoskeleton.
Oh, okay.
The patient controls that helps them move around.
So it's not anything that they implant.
If you compare it with what's going on with the other companies, as you said, they've had 30 years of experience and...
No, decades, I said. But 30 patients have been implanted with this device.
Decades.
Yeah.
We're probably talking... I don't know if they've ever progressed beyond that exoskeleton.
Well, because it's saying it's brain. It is BCI, so it must have brain controlling.
Well, it might be just like the guy's
brain
wheelchair.
Computer interface.
Yeah, the patients from that company connect via Bluetooth to their
device
exoskeleton, and there they go.
Okay. And the third company is BrainGate Consortium. And its academic includes Brown University, Stanford, and others. Achievement is its pioneer early cursor control and robotic arm movement using brain signals. Its legacy is its demonstrated brain control functions feasible over 20 years ago. Neuralink builds on this function. So Neuralink is building on the function of the BrainGate Consortium.
I think anybody involved in tech has to build on somebody else's tech nowadays.
Right. Yeah. They're all trying to get in the same spot.
It's kind of rare to find a field in tech where nobody's done anything.
Well, the next paragraph probably answers all that. It says Neuralink is pushing boundaries with its tech and vision, but other groups have deeper clinical experience and broader patient data. Neurotech's flashy demos are impressive, but the race for scalable, safe, and effective brain control is wide open. The next decade of brain control interfaces, the next thing that they say is evolution and ethical crossroads.
Yeah, because there are some ethical concerns in anything dealing with somebody's so-called private information that, they have access to in their brain.
Via the brain, yeah.
Which I'm sure you sign some kind of waiver before you get into any of these trials. So they're not worried about you suing them for accessing your private information. But again, I'm just guessing here.
But all this information that they're getting and achieving from the Neuralink and all these other companies with the BCI, the brain control interfaces, it will expand capabilities in all kinds of, including prosthetics, wheelchairs, digital devices for people with prosthetics or who are paralyzed, sensor feedback stuff, future implants that may restore feeling or vision or even hearing for the disabled.
This really doesn't have anything to do with Neuralink, but I also read last week somewhere some university has developed a lab-grown spinal cord.
Really?
Yeah. So in theory, if somebody's condition requires a intact spinal cord, they can put that in theory, like you said. I don't think, technologically speaking, they're up to a spinal cord transplant yet, but when they get there, they do have that option available to them.
Right. And it's saying like it's also improving advances in brain surgery and other stuff because they're learning things about the brain as they're putting these devices in there.
Right.
So, and also improving on AI integration into the brain.
Well, that's one of the things that Neuralink was talking about in their video. They're going beyond where they are now. They know how they can control your limbs, your arms and legs.
Where's that?
They're going deeper into the brain or in the hippocampus area, which is like deep down in your brain. And that's why it's important they get the fibers not to be rejected and retract like they did with patient one.
Right. When you were diagnosed 26 years ago, they told us, they gave you 5 years to live, but they said, we don't know anything about the brain.
Right.
They said that at the very beginning. They said it may be 5 years, maybe 30, maybe 10. We don't know. We don't know. We don't understand the brain that much to be able to give you a diagnosis.
Exactly.
So, and now we're in that area 26 years now from that point where even at the ataxia game, they know more about ataxia to understand what part of the brain that it's affecting. So, yeah. So we're learning a lot. I mean, as we go, we're learning more and more about the brain. But then we come to the fact about the ethics, about getting into somebody's brain like that. Brain control, brain data, who owns it? That's going to be, we had the same issue when the internet, and now we're in a very terrible spot where no one controls the internet. So I hate to see where we're going to be in 10, 15 years when people are hooking other people's brains up, you know what I mean, to AI and...
Oh, we're kind of falling victim to it now.
Yeah, to the internet.
Yeah, the internet.
Nobody has control of it.
Well,
it's terrible. It's a bad influence.
Okay, I'm going to use two different examples. One is like Trump. Right now we have a government shutdown, which isn't Trump's doing, but it's Congress's doing. But it is a political issue in this country. And by shutting down the government, basically, they don't have any way to control who Trump hires and fires. So it's fired a lot of government employees right now as we speak. Yeah. But that's not the issue I was talking about. So I'm getting off topic. He's been, every day he has released, rolling, day 4? So every day up till now, he's been releasing a video that is poking fun at his political opponents by
internet.
The very first one was like they were interviewing one of these senators from California, and he was with the Senate minority leader, who's also in the same party. And he put a sombrero and mustache on the guys. Yeah. And the next day, there's a whole bunch of Democrats doing an interview somewhere, and he put everybody in a sombrero and a mustache. And he added, an AI image of him with a mariachi band playing Mexican music.
Yeah. So what does this have to do with the internet being out of control?
AI is like, can be used in malicious ways. He was using like it to more humorously. He wasn't trying to fool anybody into thinking it was real.
But he was trying to hurt people's feelings and make fun of people.
He wasn't trying to hurt people's feelings per se, but he was putting like the things they're saying were not what they said for real. So
yeah,
it could mislead somebody into believing that, the senator said so. He didn't, because all that was fake, and nobody has.
So it's hard to understand what's real and what's not on
exactly.
AI. Okay. Let's get back to the topic. So, you need to. So it's hard to regulate ethics because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another example of that is like if you go on YouTube, look at videos. There's a bunch of videos that don't show anybody's face, and they use an AI audio, an AI generator to make a video.
Right.
And they put fictitious information out there, usually about like for example, like Tesla's cell phone, for a very cheap price, but it's way better than, what it's going for.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like I guess that video would tout it as an iPhone killer.
Yeah.
But,
So there's our problem for the future. How we can't regulate it now. So how, we can't figure a way to fix that. So how do we fix the way when somebody has control of somebody's brain? So
as it stands right now, the platforms, like in this example, YouTube has to place its own videos.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen because it
has to police its own videos. Twitter has to police its own videos.
There you go. I don't think we're going to fix it on this podcast, but
no, we're not going to fix it on this podcast. But we should be people aware that there's fraudulent information out there, and like when they talk about a Tesla wheelchair for $179, and it's way better than any electric wheelchair on the market, it probably doesn't really exist. So always take a YouTube video with a grain of salt.
Or any other thing you see. And then you also get into weaponization and being military and for security and that kind of thing. That was another thing that the information that the research that you did questioned.
Exactly. I think it falls in the category of what science fiction
horrors can come true.
Movies were made about what could come in the future,
So basically, who governs the brain?
Exactly. Yeah, where you had basically cyborgs or cybernetic soldiers who's actually in control of their thoughts.
Yeah. And then my next question is cost. How out of the range is this? Is this something that a normal person could do?
I did ask that question, and if you're looking at this without insurance, which right now you are,
because they're all experimental.
Human trial.
Yeah.
And while things are in human trial,
nothing's
typically,
covered.
I believe, manufacturers cover costs. So
yeah.
As of right now, all this stuff is free, but
it's not going to be forever. And if the typical person gets this.
And eventually, if one of these companies gets approval to proceed beyond the human trial stage.
Where are we at?
Then it's like, I don't know, because it's really going to depend on insurance. And insurances could be different wherever you go.
Well, it said estimated cost breakdown for the surgery right now is around, the basic cost is around $10,500, and that includes the pre-op exams, the implant of the device, and the surgical labor. But to be insured, they thought it was between $40,000 and $50,000 when you involve the hospital fees, the pre-op fees, the monitoring, and all that. So kind of out of anybody's price range.
Right.
If with no insurance. So it's not something that, in the near future that
I wouldn't think that
you could even look at without insurance.
I would think eventually the price would be less.
Well, not until it's more.
Sometimes, like a bone marrow transplant, when they first came out with it,
it's so expensive.
Way more than it is now.
Yeah, because it becomes
because
commonplace.
Of that, insurance companies only exist to make money. Did not want to cover it. They didn't want to pay out a huge expense and not get
anything back.
Money back in their pocket.
So, I think you were looking at this as hope for you, or to fix something, or to lengthen your life when you first started looking at it. Is that not what you were looking at? But I don't think in your lifetime it's going to be anything that would be available for you.
No, I resign myself to the fact that in my lifetime they won't be able to fix me.
Right.
But
it's nice to know that it's out there, and that if one of your relatives if this happens to be genetic or something like that, that maybe there's hope out there in the future.
Yeah, they told me it's not genetic. But
for our case, yeah.
In our case, but that was...
There's lots of other people.
20 years ago, when they had 23 different varieties of my disease. Last time I looked, they have 37. So,
and then we know more about the brain, too. So, yeah. Well, that's our episode for today. How many more episodes do we have left for the season?
We only have 2 more.
Two more. Dun, 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 dun.
Make sure you send that fan mail and enter a contest if you want to enter our end of season giveaway.
Yep. Get on it.
And once again, I'll say our website is www.whenlifegivesyoulemons.net. That's where you have to hit the support button and give us a donation. I tried playing around with it the other day. I put it closer to where we actually pay for a cup of coffee around here. But it's still, I believe, a recurring charge. So what I'm going to do is take a look at it again. It sends you a thank you email. And what I'm going to do is include automatically instructions for how to get to make it a one-time donation. If I can't get the company to point out the button I'm not pushing or whatever it is, it's got it sent that way.
So, yep.
So that's our show this week, folks.
See you next episode.
See ya. Till next episode, take those lemons and make your own lemonade.